All right, Go Bros. We are here with Philip Coroneos, and we are going to get down to the nitty gritty of some great one sheet questions. And Philip, welcome to the GoBundance podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, buddy, why don't you tell everybody about yourself, in like 3 to 5 minutes, like story of your life, day you were born till now.
Yep. Born in D.C., grew up right outside of D.C. in Bethesda, Rockville, Maryland, and have 2 brothers, a sister, and then 2 stepbrothers. So it was pretty hectic at home, and grew up playing different sports, mainly wrestling, and then went to Florida State and down in Tallahassee, Florida, and met my wife there. So that was awesome. Partied too much and have changed that since then, which is good. But got a degree in risk management insurance and sold life insurance for a little bit, and then went into banking as a financial representative, doing some banking, personal banker, and then got into real estate in 2013 and started, I guess, really just started kind of like most people probably, right? But got a townhouse, a duplex, a couple single families, and then actually we had some family money, and then we started getting some mid-size, all in 2016, got some mid-size apartments, just kind of dove in, and backtrack a little bit. That was kind of business. I don't know. I do different investing options and stuff also. And then family wise, got married in 2011. We have 3 kids, 7, 5, and 3, 2 girls and then a boy. And I guess where we've lived after Florida State, guess I'm getting a little choppy here, but we after Florida State, we moved down to West Palm Beach, Florida, and then moved up to Charlotte in 2012, about a year after we got married, I think, and lived here for a few years. And then when we were about to have our second child, we moved to Daytona Beach, Florida, because I had family down there. And then we just missed Charlotte, so we moved back up here in 2018. And this is where we'll call home, I think, for a little while. And we like traveling. I always have to kind of push it because with a 7, 5, and 3-year-old, it's not the easiest to travel, but I don't know, we just make it happen and go and go.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, we got a lot of commonality. Like, so my daughter lives in South End, and right outside of Charlotte. When she moved there a month ago, I moved her in, and
it's a nice area.
I hung out there, and I love it. I love the town. I love what's going on there. It's an amazing little area.
Growing like crazy.
Just nuts. Like, you could totally tell that the neighborhood she lives in is all these like little tiny single family like bungalow type houses.
Oh, that's cool.
That are all like gentrified. Like, you could tell they were all run down at one point. Now they're massively gentrified, and like breweries and coffee shops and vegan eateries, and just like, I swear to God, 90% of the population of like 10 blocks surrounding her was under 30 years old.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I was like, it's like a 20-year-old's 20 to 30s dream.
It's a dream. She can't believe it. That's why. And she was living in D.C. actually, which is our other commonality. I'm from Maryland. I grew up in Maryland. Both of my daughters lived in D.C. One still lives there. And so she, she loved D.C., but it's just a completely different city. There's more. It's just a total different vibe. So anyway, she likes it a lot.
For sure. That's awesome. Well, welcome to Charlotte.
So, okay. So your vertical income, like at were you like an insurance adjuster or something? Did you
No,
have a job? Do you still have a job or?
I sold life insurance for Northwestern Mutual when I was in college as an intern, and then for about 9 months when I got out. So I was, I guess, most of my people from Florida State with insurance major went either that personal, the life insurance, or property liability insurance, for
So
homes or for businesses, and I chose the
so
life
then
route.
you did that, and then you just quit, and then just became an investor after 9
Yeah,
months
well,
out of college.
no. Then I went to Chase Bank for
Oh, okay.
2 years. Yeah. And then moved up to DC, or to Charlotte rather. Yeah. And we had some, I think it was around 2011 was when we were starting to get some help from some family money, inheritance, whatever. I don't know, I'm like figuring out how to say it, but yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
So that with that, I think I had read 4-Hour Work Week and was like, you know what's the worst that could happen? We move, we run out of money, and I get a job again. So my wife and I quit our jobs and we moved to Charlotte, and we figured it out. So
That's
fun.
that's great. I love that. I love that attitude, right? I think more people
Yeah.
should have that. Like a friend of mine was going through a big divorce, and it was beyond 50-50 split with him and his wife. Like he's like, you know what, I'm gonna just give it to her. She was getting like 65%, let's just say. I don't remember the exact number. He felt like she was getting a lot, right? And it was like basically taking a ton.
Yeah.
And he told me, he looked at me, I'll never forget. He said, Pat, he's like, I know how to make money.
Yeah.
It's like, you could bring me down to zero. I don't care. You know why? Because I know how to make money. I'm going to make it all back.
That's awesome.
Whatever. And I think you had that attitude too. It's like, I know how to make money. We're going to just go and do this. If it doesn't work,
At the time,
we'll figure out something else.
we didn't necessarily think we knew how to make money, but we were just kind of like, at least we'll have a few years, whatever, of the freedom to think, freedom to do what we want. And I do think maybe we could have made more by working jobs and reinvesting that money, but I think the freedom to think and the freedom we traveled and just hung out, I don't know, as a husband and wife, I think there's a lot of benefit in that.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I guess you could probably never see yourself going back to work, can you?
No, not as a job. I don't think so.
That's great. So tell me about, so what percentage are you?
So I guess that's where I was emailing you and asking about the option stuff. So I guess I'd be right at 108% from what I was calculating for this quarter.
And his question, guys, was so you do like day trading, right?
So with me and my GoPod, really, we started trading options last August, and I've traded options for off and on for about 10 years. And last August, somebody said it in the GoPod, and I was like, well, actually, I just started trading again, and let's figure this out. So we kind of went from the premise of, okay, how do you not lose money? And I laughed, but then I was like, actually, you just sell puts. So then if you have to, and whether somebody understands this or not, I guess I'll try and make it simple, but you then, if it goes to the price of that stock goes low, you end up buying the stock. So you own 100 shares of it or whatever. And then if it goes back up, you sell a call and make a premium. If it goes up, you end up selling them both and you make money. So unless the company goes out of business, you're good. And then we've adjusted it to doing that with options, or something called a synthetic covered call. So we're definitely not day trading. I did try that about 2 weeks ago, and I got my butt handed to me, and I was like, nope, we're done with that.
So yeah, so it was a great question, because at the end of the day, like capital gains, our horizontal income, this is the answer I gave guys. Capital gains it's horizontal income. Like if you flip a house, or you sell a house, or a company you own part of sells, and you make a cash from that sale, that is considered horizontal because you didn't really do any work for it. But if you are trading time for money and you're actually going to every single flip and overseeing the contractor or the one that's actually, watching the markets and pulling the triggers on things every day, like a day trader, then that is vertical income. That's a job. And that was the answer I gave you. So you came up with 108%. Go ahead.
So I came up with about a 2/3 vertical and a third horizontal on that after kind of what you said. Cause I was like, well,
okay,
I spend more time than I need to. I could let it, but I'd check it and we make different trades throughout the day. And so I was like, until I make it more passive, I'm fine with a lot of that being vertical.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Okay, cool. So at least you got your monthly expenses for a family of 5 covered by your real estate and some of your trading and
some business investments. Yep.
Okay, so you got that figured out. So, all right. So let's talk about your debt. Right. So what is your debt to net worth ratio?
So where'd that go?
And that would be recourse debt, like debt you've signed for.
Yeah. So it was about, so it was not just under 20%. So
wow,
it was 1.34 million of debt on 6.8 million of net worth.
Perfect.
And
good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's conservative. I like it.
I was happy with it. I think if I did the debt to like my real estate, I think it's still under 50%, which I thought was fine too. We are working on a few refis right now, but it's okay.
Yeah, that's interesting. No, that's good. I like that number, man. I've seen some crazy numbers recently, and I just think it's something that we can't talk enough about. Anything under 50% is I think is where everybody should strive to be. So you're way under that.
That's good.
Very good.
Okay.
All right. So what and all your horizontal. Tell me about the companies you said, the private companies.
Yeah. So I started. Maybe some people know Ty Lopez from YouTube or from Instagram. Some people like him. Some people think he's a joke. Whatever. I think he's onto something. And him and his business partner Alex Mayer started with just building companies. And so the first one I invested with them was grass. It was a protein like Slim Jim, but healthy, organic. Actually made of meat. I'm not sure what Slim Jim's made of. And I'm not sure where that one is. I don't think it's necessarily taken off. But then they started buying some, basically going out of, I guess, depressed assets. Is that what it'd be called? Company. So the first one that I jumped into was Pier 1. So it went bankrupt, and then they bought. So all they did was they bought the rights to the online and the emails and all that. And so now they don't have all the leases. It's just an online e-commerce company. And so my brother and I actually got a refi, and some of that refi money we put into that. But what's crazy is it was 20% interest only loan for 2 years and equity. So debt plus equity. So after the 2 years, we actually get the money back. Plus, I forget, I think I'd have to look, 20 or 40%. Let's go with 20%, almost bonus, I guess, at the end. So 20% a year, plus the money back, plus 20%, and still own the equity in the company.
Yeah. So, and how long has it been?
6-7 months.
And 6-7 months. So they're paying you basically 20%. It's a 20% loan, and
yeah. Oh, so to me, getting 20% was awesome by itself. And then if the equity works out, that's cool too.
Yeah.
So we made a few other of those investments too with them, and they bought Dress Barn, and I invested in that too. which is a women's
How much
clothing
money
company.
do they buy like these things for?
I think Pier 1 went for somewhere around 31 million. Which I don't know how you value that. I mean, you're not necessarily buying anything, right? But
I mean, sure,
if you're buying 6 million emails. What was that?
Yeah.
So
yeah, everyone's heard of it. So there's some brand value, but that's about it, I guess.
I think that was the main thing, was just people
when they
switched it up. Yeah, I'm still here. You're starting to break up too. But yeah, with Pier 1. All
right, so that's cool. So
you're breaking up a little bit.
All right, so let's shift gears. No, I'm sorry. All right. So how much do you weigh?
All right. Well, I was 215. Now this morning, actually, I was 210. For this,
Congrats.
Thanks. For this call, I was like, well, let me go, get my body fat percentage and see. I know I've gained weight since a lockdown. I don't know. We switched our diet and I gained some weight. I thought a lot of it was muscle. It wasn't. It was it was all fat. I gained like 10 or 15 pounds of fat. So, but I work out 5 days a week, so I was kind of surprised. You still there?
Yeah. So what type of workouts do you do?
I do CrossFit. So they're pretty intense. I like the heavier weights, but they still make me do burpees.
Yeah.
So
well, you do burn a lot of calories with the CrossFit. I mean, you're definitely in a caloric deficit after the CrossFit workouts, and I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting.
And I just wasn't eating great after that. Sorry.
What are your eating habits?
Well, so I guess what I had been doing was kind of intermittent fasting, where I'd try to finish eating dinner 5 or 6 o'clock. We have a young family, so we eat early, and then not eat until bedtime. But I was cheating on that some, and then try not to eat until sometime after workout or 9 or 10 a.m. So I basically just switched and put that like, okay, now I'm going to actually do that. Which then kind of puts me into ketosis, or it does, because I did the keto diet about a year ago. And so if I did, I've been trying to do keto until about lunchtime, maybe a little bit later, depending on what I have around to eat. And if I'm hungry, I know, really hungry. So that way my body can burn the fat overnight and in the morning. And then I just kind of eat regular the rest of the day. But I just cut out like the bowl of Cheez-Its for a snack and grab some fruit instead.
Yeah, I've been doing the same thing. It's worked really well for me. I mean, I don't do it every day. I do it, probably 4 days a week, 4 out of 7, and
intermittent
I think it's
fasting.
very effective. I mean, it's very effective, and it was, if you'd asked me a year ago, I'd tell you that I couldn't do it. I need that third meal.
Right.
So,
yeah, I think it's great, and especially just skipping the breakfast. It's just not as hard. But I do the bulletproof coffee, so it's not a meal, but it's something. If I skip that, I'm definitely hungrier.
about your give back, let's move on to a different pillar.
Okay. Pat, you're breaking up a good amount though. I don't know if it's on my end or, I mean, I haven't moved, but I'm sure you haven't either. You there? I don't know what.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
Give me a second. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now it actually is getting better.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go to my Wi-Fi. I was driving before, now I'm gonna just go to my house.
Okay.
Just give me a second. Very cool. Now I'm on Wi-Fi, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, that sounds better. You said you've been doing the intermittent fasting a few days a week. I'm still here.
Did I lose you? There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
You said you've been doing the intermittent fasting a few days a week.
Yeah, so I'm going to start that over. Hold on a second. So Allie, just cut out all that because it was bad reception. Excellent. Let's just start our conversation over about them. We got yours because I heard yours loud and clear. So I'll just redo my response. So yeah, I love intermittent fasting. I've been doing it myself, that and gluten-free, and in 6 months I've definitely lost weight because of it. So it's very effective. I think it's a great way to go. Let's shift gears now. Let's talk about your pillar of genuine contribution. So what are you doing to give back?
We're usually pretty good about the 10% tithe. Well, I say pretty good. It's actually kind of challenging with just different investment income. Hey, how much do I take? Was that income or were there expenses? But we usually do pretty good. We have probably 10 different ministries that we like to give to. And then we've also started volunteering at our church once a month. So it's not a ton, but so like last year, we gave around $38,000 and made somewhere around 400.
Okay. Well, that's great. Yeah. I mean, 10% is honorable. You know, most people that come on here is 1 to 2%. So, that's great.
Yeah.
I think it's very good. It's very good.
I feel like if I'm going to make it, we might as well do something here on this earth.
Right. No, absolutely.
I just started partnering with One Life Fully Lived. I'm excited about that and what they're doing.
Good. Yeah, they're doing some great things. So, yeah, that's awesome. I think, and you say you volunteer some places?
Yeah, at our church, just once a month, just with the kids.
Got it. All right, let's talk about that. Let's talk about kids and authentic relationships. The next pillar. You got 3 kids. They're all really young. If you were to die today, Philip, who would be your pallbearers?
My brothers, and then I would think a couple of my friend Frank, Jared, Greg, Nate, maybe my stepbrothers too. I don't know. I feel like I have a few really close friends that would be pallbearers.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff. Yeah. And then your life happiness index. What's your number?
7.81.
7.81. So almost 8. So you're creeping up to 8, which is good. What's the lowest thing?
It was a risk. I guess I didn't really do any of them as like, this is horrible. I hate this part of my life, thankfully. But I would say that the lowest would be risk or excitement, which with our children, we don't, go and do anything crazy. Which would be cool. But at the same time, like, I understand we're in a different phase of life. And at some point we'll go to some awesome, I don't know, travel. I guess in my head, I think like, well, a couple of years ago, we did go to Europe and I went skydiving. That was exciting.
Yeah, that's no joke.
In
Especially
Switzerland.
In Europe. Oh,
yeah, it was in Switzerland. It was so beautiful. I would recommend anybody do that. In the Interlaken. Interlaken, I don't know
That's
how to
funny.
pronounce it.
Yeah, we went there. My wife and I went to Switzerland for 2 weeks, and recently, and we
Yeah.
stayed in Interlaken. I know exactly
Oh, that's amazing.
where the skydiving was and the parasails, where they all land in that huge field.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, we
yeah.
went
We
up on
just
one of those red helicopters, the
yeah.
Swiss Alps, whatever like I guess the emergence. I don't know what it is for, but if somebody's stuck, they go get them. But somehow we went up in that. It was
Yeah,
cool.
we just sat there and drank coffee at the one cafe that overlooks it, and just watched all you guys land one by one. It was amazing. I mean, it was just
That's
like
pretty cool.
in an hour you could see like 5 people or more land. You know.
That's awesome. Would you say that that's probably one of the most beautiful areas? That was my thought, but maybe I haven't been everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, it was gorgeous. I mean, everywhere you go is just it's just gorgeous scenery. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, it's Hawaii is pretty gorgeous
expensive. That's true in a different way, but yeah.
in a different way. But as far as just looking around, going, wow,
Yeah.
it's definitely one of those. Okay, so tell me about your GoPod.
Yeah. So we got Eddie Workinger, Dave Hayes, Brian Failer, and Don Alley. We meet once a week on Zoom, unless a few of us can't make it, whatever. But we're pretty good about it. And then like I said, it started with just 3 of us doing the options trading, but so we text often, and a lot of it's surrounded around the stock market and options. But I guess most of so sometimes we're talking about the options, but a lot of times we'll just, hop on the Zoom and talk about updates on what each of us are doing. So like one of the guys, Brian, has built several of his most of, I think, his rental properties. He's built them and then just turned them into a rental. Or Don owns a martial arts studio, or Eddie's property, a realtor, property management, owns rentals also. So just really wherever we're at in life and what we're, updating each other and questions we have for each other.
That's great, man. That's great. Got a good crew there. Sounds like, and it's cool. You have some commonality, something that kind of go around and around. It's funny how that is. It seems like a lot of GoPods, there's tons of stuff to find commonality around, but investments always kind of runs a good theme. I know in my GoPods, that's kind of what we like. We had a GoPod meeting today, and the whole thing was about different investments. It's amazing.
That's most of what we talk about.
Yeah. Okay, so what's your biggest business goal for the next 12 months, would you say?
Where did that go? Where did I have that? Sorry.
All right.
Oh, here we go. So we have so my biggest goal really is to figure out what we own. My brother and I own a 20-unit apartment, a 19-unit apartment, and then my brother, sister, and I own a 61-unit apartment. And the 61, I really don't care for. It's just
Why?
it's not in the nicest area. The rents are $600, $700 for 1 and 2 bedrooms. So there's just constant turnover, constant people that are either leaving or we have to evict, and they leave, and then there's $2,500 or $6,000 of stuff that we got to fix up, whatever. Maybe if we'd have made them nicer over time, either way. But just seems like it's never ending, and it has appreciated, so I do like that. So we're in the process of selling it, and hopefully we will. And then it'll be
Is it
nice
on the
story.
market with an agent?
So no, it's actually it was off market, and I got a few people that just had emailed me saying, hey, you thinking of selling? And I was like, well, not really, but hey, we can talk, and if you want to give a good offer, then maybe we'll sell it. And so then I reached out to a few other agents that I had just talked to over the years that had done that, asked me about it, and we got a good offer and ended up getting it under contract.
Okay, good. Okay, so it's under contract now.
Sort of.
Yeah.
I don't know if this needs to, whatever, either way. So they got a survey. So we were 53 days into the contract, and the survey came in, and that was the last day of his contingency. And it came in that we owned all the land we thought, but then we owned a little sliver to the east, which is a paved driveway. Basically, there should be an easement to get to the mobile home park next door and the guy that's north of ours, but they couldn't find the easement. So they said, hey, we need to extend it another 5 days. We said, okay. And then they still didn't find the easement. They didn't do anything in that 5 days, and they wanted more time. So we're like, no, you don't get more time. You either figure this out right now, or, we'll just move on with life. And so they said that they defensively terminated so that he could not risk his 40,000 earnest money.
But how would it affected him, right? Because you own the land, so the easement would be the other guy's problem.
Exactly,
right?
That needs the easement. That's what I said. I said, dude, if somebody doesn't want to pay to put the easement in place, you move the fence over, and now he can't get to his property. But so what's the issue? And they just, I don't know.
The fence wasn't on the easement?
No, the fence is just on our property. So we literally didn't know that we owned. It looks like just a road, but I guess.
But is the fence on the road?
No, the fence is just on the property, and
on the property, so not on the easement. Right.
Correct. Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense. It's irrelevant, right? I mean, it's irrelevant because it may you're in control.
Correct. And at worst, it's what, $1,000 to put an easement, record an easement. I don't know. I totally was frustrated with it.
And why would you want a recorded easement for the other guy? I mean,
yeah, he should pay for it. That was the next thing. If they need the easement, they should pay for it. So I don't know.
Yeah, he must have got some bad advice. That's too bad. So
yeah. So
I bet you I would just say, okay, fine, and I would put it with a commercial broker and forget about the off market deal. I would make it officially on market with a big ass sign and everything, and create an auction type atmosphere. You know what I mean?
And that's probably better advice than what we should have done. in the first place.
So I mean, he did. The market is crazy. So
right, he did get an appraisal that's supposed to come back I think today. So that's my thoughts. Is I guess we'll see where the appraisal comes back. If it comes back high and he wants to pay more, he can. If not, we'll just
you might not know what it comes back at because it's his appraisal.
Right. Well, he can either, if he wants to get back under contract, he needs to show it to us.
Yeah. Wait a couple.
That's kind of my thoughts. He kind of put the ball in our court, and now he's got to, get back into contract with us.
How much is it?
It's under contract for $2,825,000.
Okay, so almost $3 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. I mean, I had an 18 unit, and I had the same experience. It was it required almost a full-time employee just to manage it, just because it was such a low class of tenant, and it was I sold it for the same sort of reason. Like some of them work great, right? I mean, I got them all over, but some of them
we did buy it for 1.2.
Don't work. How long ago?
The end of 2016, so just over 4 years.
Oh, so man, I definitely.
In that regard, it's not bad. So, but yeah, I agree with you.
No, it's great. Double plus. So I would say I would on now. All right, cool. So let's see. Let's move on a little bit. I know risk and adventure is low on your LHI, but let's talk about your past and your future. Let's talk about your greatest hits. How old are you now, Philip?
34.
All right. 34 years of life. What would you say the 3 greatest hits of Philip are? Like the 3 most poignant moments?
I guess I was just thinking of kind of recent stuff, but I would say that Europe trip was pretty awesome. And the skydiving there, but because we ended up going to Switzerland, over to France, Italy, into Germany for a little bit. But I would also say buying 100 units in 2016, which was definitely, it took some cojones, but the prices we got them versus where the market went to in the last 4 years has been nice.
Yeah. Right.
And then I was going to say my wife and children, but then my wife said, "Though that's, everybody does that. That's lame."
Yeah, she's right.
I was like, "Okay,
She's
well,
right.
if you agree,
Yeah.
then good."
Try to make
But,
it think a little harder than that. Yeah.
yeah. So then I was thinking, really learning these options trading, because we didn't necessarily get into it, but I should make over 600,000 this year in options trading. And so if my whole, that would put my income right at $1 million.
Jeez.
So it's a good
So wait a minute.
chunk.
So you should make is it's only
3
getting
months
ready to be April. So are you saying you have made say 150 so far in 3 months?
Yeah,
You're making
I'm actually
like
at 172. I wrote it down somewhere. Yeah, 172 realized gains right now.
Realized gains. What did you make last year in options trading?
100,000. And that was from August to the end of September or end of December.
Why?
Yeah.
Why are you betting more, or are you just getting better, or is there a reason economically that you're up?
Both.
Like, I mean, you're like you're I don't even know what that is. I mean, it's if you stop today, you'd be up 70%. So that would be 4 times. I mean, you're way up.
Well, because and I started with less. I think I started with about 100, and then I don't remember, September maybe I added 50, December maybe added another 50 or another 100. So part of it is we're getting better, and then the other part is I've added more. Right now the stocks we're trading are down, so I wish we were talking maybe in another month and I'd have even better story.
Well, you
right
still
now.
got 170,000 of realized gains, so it's money you've actually made in the bank. I mean, that's
But if I cashed out now, I'd be down. But that's why it's like, well, I'm holding these options they'll come back.
You'd be down 100, more than 170.
If I cashed out all my account now, yeah, my unrealized losses is pretty low right now. So, which we realized, we're doing some things
pretty high right now. Pretty high.
Yes, pretty high. Yes. Yeah.
Pretty high. Okay. Yeah.
Correct.
Like, wait a minute.
We realized what we were doing. We were trading a little more of the tech stocks than we thought we were.
Yeah.
And they just got hit the last month and a half. We're sitting here at March 31st.
I mean, bless you, because that's a stressful. That's interesting. All right, cool. Well, let's talk about future. Give me 3 future greatest hits.
In the travel world, I want to go out west and take the family and go hiking, like Arizona, Utah, California, something like that, or all 3.
Good one.
And then our 5-year-old actually has had some health complications the last year and a half. So that is really our main personal goal, is just to get her fully healthy. I don't know. I don't share it really often, but she's had seizures, and so really we just want to have no seizures. I mean, that sounds simple, but the medical world of seizures is not that simple. So
so it's not like they can't say it's like epilepsy or.
They did, yeah.
They did.
But the tough part is there's not as much focus on what's the cause. It's more, hey, try that. Most of the doctors, at least, it's mostly try this medicine, and if it doesn't work, we up it. If that medicine doesn't work, we switch it and up that, and just kind of go from there. Whereas I'm like, well, what's the cause? Come on,
what's the cause?
Figure out the cause.
Yeah, but that's beyond their pay grade. I mean, that's like for a scientist to figure. Yeah, that would be like saying, what is the cause of breast cancer?
Of heart stuff, right? Well, we should be working on that too. I would think so.
And they are. But you can't pinpoint it. You know what I mean? You just can't. Like, it's just not one of those not fair things. I think any childhood disease is not fair, because I think an adult, it's easier if it's an adult, obviously, because if it's an adult, you're like, did they smoke? Or were they overweight? You're just,
And that's
instantly you're going for what's the cause. And but with a
exactly
kid, I don't know if you could say there's a cause with a kid,
right.
I haven't had
Yeah.
enough experience.
Right. And that's exactly where we're like, what, how could this happen? What do you mean? But we're working on it. So we're hopeful, optimistic, and that in the next year we'll have some answers. We're doing different tests and natural tests and see what's going on in her gut and with her diet and her sleep, and we're working on it.
That's great.
So,
That's great.
yeah.
Okay. So what else? So
and then I would say just give $100,000 in a year.
I like that.
That would be.
I know one of David Osborne is give $1 million in a year. So that's
probably,
yeah.
That'll be at the next
great
level.
Actually, I like that goal too. I should write that down because I've never given $100,000. I think that's right. I should do that for next year. I always feel like it's funny. I don't know if at the GoBundance event, I don't know if you saw this. James Doty spoke, and one of the things that struck me, he said, "I have never met a wealthy person who didn't believe they were middle class." And that's kind of how I feel, right? Like I've always had more money than most people, or at least recently. And but I still am like I've always felt like I'm middle class. You know what I mean? Like and it affects my giving. This is what I'm getting. This is what I'm getting at. It affects my giving. Like I'm much more apt to like reinvest, as soon as I get cash.
Right. What I try to do, I don't know if it helps you or helps anybody, but as the cash flow comes in, I try to take the money right then and just put it in my tithe account, contribution account, whatever you want to call it. And then when I find the need, I just then give it. Yeah. So I don't know, that helps, but
yeah, one of the things I think I'm going to do, which somebody recommended to me recently, was you could actually set up an account that's like a family account, and then you could let your kids give it away. And I think that cool. Serves like multiple purposes. Number one, it gets them involved in the family wealth, and number two, it gets them, gives them some sense of soul. It helps their soul, and then at the same time, it helps my soul because I can see, what their passions are.
I think that's an awesome idea.
So I think next year my goal will, you hold me accountable. Next year I'm going to put $100,000 in one of those accounts, and then
there you go.
And then let my family decide. Like maybe we have a family meeting and say, you guys take this year, and kind of like a hedge fund, or you know what I mean, or whatever, where they're buying things and having discussions about what to buy and how to sell and all that. Same thing, but with charities. What are you going to do? Who should we give it to?
Yeah, that's a cool idea. I like, and well, I mean, at least for me, 3, 5, and 7, I'm like, how do I teach them how to give? How do I teach them to be givers? How do I teach them not to be so possessive over their toys? I don't have the answer.
Yeah.
I think that could help as a family giving,
Yeah, if you really wanted to do it, you would cancel holidays or Christmas, so to speak, or whatever.
I wouldn't mind doing that, honestly.
And saying, you got to give, whatever. It's got to go to a charity. I mean, that's kind of extreme, but still. Anyways.
Yeah.
Let's
celebrate Christmas. They just don't need as many toys.
That's right. What's in the kids' mind? What's to celebrate? They're gonna give away all my money. All right. So let's spin the GoBundance app and get a random question. You ready?
Okay.
All right, Philip. What is the biggest failure that you've had in life, and what did you learn from it?
Well, what's coming to mind is I don't know when it was, 2013, 2014. I was trying to actually just make my investments more passive. And I invested in high dividend paying oil stocks. I thought that they were preferred stocks, not common. So I thought that would be beneficial, but these oil companies were leveraged out the wazoo. The oil, tanked. I don't remember. Somebody that knows oil would probably understand 2013, 2014, 2015. It was somewhere around there. They all went under. Literally, I need to tally it up, but it was probably $130,000 of a loss. And I wasn't where I am now. Now it would be less of it wasn't an issue then, but I mean, I took it fine. But I did little to no research on these companies. I didn't realize how leveraged they were. And, I was like, well, the worst case, they go out of business. I'll still get my money back because they'll sell everything. These are preferred. Nope. So yeah, I think it was a good 130,000 just losses over the, that came in over the next couple of years.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's oil's a tricky business.
Yeah.
You don't realize how volatile it is.
I've been very hesitant on oil ever since then.
Yeah, and you would think it's one of those things. I think you would think it would be fairly safe, right?
You would think. Yeah, everybody's using it.
Yeah,
you had mentioned maybe about a year ago something in the GoBundance Facebook group about Oxy and something else.
Yeah.
And I was getting back into the options at the time, so I actually did buy some calls. Some of them weren't too far out, so I just made a little bit of money on those. But then I'm actually still holding some of them.
Really?
They're up pretty good. I feel like I think I'm up $4,000 or $5,000 on those. On that,
well, that's good, because I think I lost on that deal. I mean, I don't do options. I just buy and sell, and I probably can't. I'm not in them anymore. I just sold because they were down, because that's funny.
Right.
And it shows you over time, right? It was only a year ago, but
then they've shot up like crazy now.
It went way down, and then it went way up, and if it just sat there and not bothered it,
I think it was around, let's say, $13 a share for Oxy, and right now it's somewhere close to 30. So you would have almost 2.5 the money, which is crazy to think about. Of course, sorry to tell you that.
That's right. I mean, shit, there's been so much other stuff that's gone up and down and up since then too. It's just I'm sure I made it back on something else, but
exactly.
All right, Philip. Well, this has been fun, buddy. I appreciate you coming on, and hopefully we'll get together in the near future and break some bread.
Yeah, I need to come down to Charleston. I just met Matt O'Neill over at Sam Wiegert's house.
Oh, you did? You were at the Anthony Robbins thing?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, great guys.
For sure.
That's cool that you guys did that. We need to do that on a wider scale. Tell everybody about that real quick before we end this. Tell them what you guys did.
So Tony Robbins has his business. Well, he's doing virtual conferences right now. He's got a huge studio with, I think, 40 or 20 foot high screen, so he can see hundreds of people or thousands of people on Zoom. But instead of us sitting at home watching it on my computer, going to eat food, getting distracted, we all went to Sam's house. There were 5 GoBros and I think 5 or 6 other people. And we just watched it together, and we had different breakout sessions together. We watched, the Business Mastery, Tony Robbins Business Mastery. And it was awesome to be able to then just talk business and talk ideas. And so it was good.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Definitely recommend it, especially.
Yeah, Matt was telling me about it, and I was like, "Damn, we should do one with 20 guys." I mean, that would be kind of and it's all organized, right? I mean, like, he kept you busy, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty busy from whenever they start till they finish. Yeah, it was cool. And Sam definitely went next level. He had hired somebody to basically put food out and get dinners and get dinner ready, and so that was nice. We had one less thing to have to think about. And then he had I don't know what it was, stretch massage person that was doing some very active stretching with us. I don't know how to describe that, but
Yeah, well, that's the thing, that stretching thing. They have. I've seen these franchises are like Stretch USA or whatever, and you just go there and it's kind of like they just stretch. It's like Thai
I didn't know that.
massage type stretches where they just like it's not.
I mean, I loved it, but
yeah,
it seemed similar to chiropractor. Yeah.
all
That's
right, cool, bro. Well, good.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely get together
For sure. Talk to
right,
you soon.
Bye bye.
Later.